So we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm really, really happy to introduce you to Marisol. Ta-da. This is Marisol. She's from Costa Rica. And I've been really looking forward to this interview because she is one of those people who really, really inspires me. And I'm actually kind of sad that she's finishing up the program, because that means even though we'll still be in touch, it won't be like on a daily basis like before. And we've been having such great discussions together and so much up-leveling. So Marisol, I'll let you take it from here. Give a little introduction of who you are, what, where are you right now? I think that would be interesting to share, and we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you, Dalia, for the introduction and also for inviting me for this celebration interview. So as Dalia mentioned, I'm Marisol, Costa Rican, right now based in Nigeria, and I've been working in the humanitarian aid sector for some years now, so that is why I'm actually here. And I started this journey with Dalia in February. And it's been an amazing transition from having a certain mindset and certain reality to where I'm standing here today. So I'm here to share with you all of this transition, all of this experience, and also to encourage you to go after your dreams and, you know, don't give up whatever you're going through, because I think my story may encourage you to actually, you know, take a step and take action. So, I'm happy to start answering whatever questions you may have.
Okay, so let's start with where you were when we started working together. So what do you think was the biggest difference in terms of who you were, the thoughts running through your head on a day-to-day basis, and what was the problem you were facing? Like, why did you end up asking for help?
Right. So I learned from someone that your life starts to change where you are maybe on the same place, but you already have a different mindset. So even though I'm still in Nigeria, because I started the program while I was starting in this project, and this seems to be the same, it is so not the same for me anymore in terms of the way I perceive myself as a professional, my value, and also all the things that have been a result of the program. So I started having a mindset of being powerless, of feeling hopeless regarding my career. So I have a profession that I'm really passionate about. I do know what I want in terms of my career. The problem was that I was not getting it anymore. Like, I got it when I was living in my home country, but then I started to face issues when I did my master's, and then I had to re-enter the job market.
Mm-hmm.
And
so just to explain to people, right? Just to explain to people here, so Marisol has a background in environment and health. She had a little bit of experience in that, but then she ended up on sort of a different career path, which I think a lot of people can probably relate to. Like, you think you're going in one direction, you just end up in another, depending on what kind of jobs you end up getting. Sometimes that can work out and you go, wow, I love this new job I never thought I'd end up in. But a lot of the time you just end up somewhere, and then 5 years down the line, you realize, oh, I'm still here and that's not where I want to go. And now I have no experience in the place that I do want to go, right?
Yes, exactly. So thank you for the very nice summary, because I was trying to re-enter the job market after my studies. I had to kind of settle for this job, which I enjoy, but, you know, I just kept growing in the direction of another career. And this is not what I wanted. It's not what I want. So I felt I was doing things the way I used to do when I was back home, like 5 years ago. And because I didn't know any better, you know, I applied for jobs, and that got me jobs in the past in my home countries. But, you know, reaching the international job market and all the ambitions that I had, it required a certain different skills that I didn't know about. So I felt hopeless. I felt powerless, because I didn't know what I was doing wrong. You know, I know the type of professional I am, all the assets and skills and things that I can contribute with. And yet I felt like so discouraged that I kept applying to jobs, not getting any replies, not landing interviews, nothing. And I didn't know what was wrong. So when I actually met you, I was already quite frustrated that I didn't know what was actually going wrong. So yeah, I would say this is what my life was. And it was so related with my mindset, which I think it's, you know, the root of our life. Whatever we're thinking right now will shape our future, no?
So I think about that. I think one thing that's interesting to mention there is that one of your problems, which again, I think a lot of people watching this potentially might be facing something similar, is that you are so good and people can rely on you in your job. And so this is another way people can get stuck, is that you're doing so well in your job and people rely on you and you're successful. And so they want to keep you in that position because of course you're useful there. And again, you're reliable, you're responsible, you're doing a good job. And it's another way people, really good people get pegged into not necessarily the job where they want to go. And then of course, the more time passes, the more your experience is going in that direction and not in the direction that you want. So I think that's also interesting that it was, you know, the whole thing of getting the right career that you want, it's not just about being a good professional. Sometimes being a good professional can actually be part of the problem, right? And so that's where you need the other kind of strategies to get yourself onto where you want to go and not just where other people would like to place you. So
exactly.
I think that was a big one. And then the other thing that you brought up that I think is also good to add a few more details about is the mindset, right? So we'll get more into the mindset, like how your mindset has shifted now as opposed to before. And we've talked about this before. I think we'll talk about it a bit more now, but it's really like you've become a different person. And I've seen that evolution. So you're still the same person, but it's like you're showing up differently. You're showing up with more energy because now you're on mission. Now you know how to go out and get what you want, all this kind of stuff. But it's not like before you were this negative person that was down, and you were still coming across as successful and you were still very ambitious and all of that. Because I think sometimes when people hear mindset, they're like, well, yeah, I'm a positive person and yeah, I'm motivated, right? But I would like to hear from you for people who go, well, I do have a good mindset. What's sort of the big thing that changed for you in terms of that?
I had so many negative thoughts that I think I didn't realize how negative they were until I did this course and I landed my thoughts in the worksheets and write them down, and then realizing like, oh my God, there's so many of them. Like I wasn't aware that I had this negative attitude towards my future, but I didn't realize how many these thoughts were, and how often they were showing up. Like, I'm building career in another industry or in another field. I'm getting outdated from my passion. Time passes and where am I going? I'm going to somewhere else that I don't want to go to, but I cannot change it because I'm making all these efforts and nothing is changing. So I would say that this was a process, because across this journey with you, I've explored my value, my worth. I've explored what the world is missing out there if I just don't fight more for what I want. So it's not only about me being, successful and feeling fulfilled by achieving what I want, but it's also being fulfilled by what I can give, and being able to realize that completely changed my perception as a professional, as a person. So now I have been able, across this journey, because, we cultivate a certain mindset based on our experiences, on our beliefs, on our culture, what we were taught as children, whatever. And this doesn't disappear overnight. So it is something that takes a bit of time to recognize, but not too much time, because I started this journey and now it's like 2 months later and I feel completely different, and I started to implement all of these steps of awareness, examining my beliefs, and quickly, just the fact of recognizing them, it's quite a breakthrough, no? So now I would say, after this process and exploring all of these beliefs and paradigms, etc., and what I really want, now I have been able to decide, because at the end, I think, and this is one of the takeaway messages of this course for me, and also to share with those who are listening, that we have a power, and it's the power of choice. You know, I can choose if I want to be a victim, or I want to choose that I will be a winner, or choose if I want to be, you know, positive or negative. Like, I'm not a victim of my thoughts. I actually have a choice, and that is the superpower, right? So at this point, realizing that I have a choice made a big difference. So now I can think about myself like, okay, I'm an expert. I have amazing work experience. I'm resourceful. I can get what I want. I'm visible. I'm a person on demand, and, you know, develop all of these thoughts that I think at some point, you know, they were there. But when I just started to get away from my dreams and my mission and my sense of purpose through my career, those beliefs and feelings and connection with my dreams started to, you know, just get in a drawer and were left behind. So at some point, I really forgot about the passion I had for environmental health, because I just got so busy doing something else that through this course, I was like, oh my God, wow, I forgot how passionate I am about this. And it's like suddenly I reconnected with a part of myself, which I think was amazing. So it was a journey for sure, but it was fast, huh? It wasn't that long of a journey. So
well, some
amazing.
people spend years and years, right, feeling stuck. Yeah. So I mean, I think it's really interesting, because when you do get stuck like that and you get into a kind of a rut, which can go on for months and years, but it becomes your normal, and then people forget that there's a new version of them that has way more energy and that loves their job and loves the people they're connecting with, and that almost seems like they kind of think, oh, that would be nice, but it's like they're so used to being how they are and going through the motions and thinking, okay, I guess this is how it is. And you look around yourself and you go, well, it could be worse though. And actually, I'm pretty lucky to have a job these days because the economy is bad. And, you know, all these kind of things start coming out, and you just become like a lower version of yourself that's, I think, sort of trapped, and it becomes so normalized. You don't even realize there's this other version of yourself out there, unless, like you say, you really step up and make that choice and go, you know what, life is short. I don't want to spend it not being as energetic and as on purpose and as fulfilled as I could be.
Right. Or, you know, living a professional life that is not what I know I deserve, what I know that, you know, it's not what I have been aiming at. And at some point I felt like I didn't have a control over my career, because I wasn't getting any opportunities in other organizations that were more related with my professional interests. So I was like, okay, oh my God, I'm just doomed to work with this organization forever, because no one else is giving me a chance, and I'm not given a chance to work in my passion in this organization. So yeah, it felt like a lot of zero control or zero capacity to change. But I have been a big fan of self-development, and, you know, if I don't do it for myself, no one is going to do it for me. No one is going to do it for me. So I just, when I learned about your program, I was like, this is the answer. Like, I felt hope, like there's light, you know, at the end of the tunnel, because everything that you were mentioning, I completely related with. Like, I felt in the rat race, you know, sending applications, uploading things in platforms, not getting any replies. And I was like, yeah, that's my life. And it's good to know that there's another way of doing things. And I want to get to know that way, because I'm really doing this for me. Because at the end, Dalia, no one teaches us on how to do this type of things. No one teaches us how to get jobs. We just do the best we can. And this is why, you know, I also encourage everyone that is listening that may be having questions. We are not told how to land jobs. We're not told how to network, unless you have, you know, this natural skill of networking. But me as an introvert, for instance, I'm very quiet sometimes. And socially awkward. For me, it's not natural at all. But of course, I needed to develop these skills because one of the key things I have learned here and now is so much more easy for me is to network. And I had no idea how relevant this was because no one tells you about these things. So,
or they kind of tell you, like everyone knows it's important, right? Everyone, oh yeah, networking, oh the cover letter, yeah. But I feel like it's not taught at a level that is enough to really actually get those opportunities. Because of course everyone knows, okay, I need to network, okay, I need to be on LinkedIn, but it's not like a skill they really focus on learning. And yet it's probably one of the most important skills in your whole life in terms of, I mean, the time you're spending on this planet, not to mention how much money you earn, not to mention the kind of projects and people you get to meet. Like it influences your whole life. And yet, you're right, it's not something we're taught. And even if we are, it's not something most people put that much sort of effort into up-leveling and really practicing and getting better and better at.
Exactly. You can do it and know the importance, but you may be doing it the wrong way. Which may make you feel like, okay, this doesn't work, so why should I bother? And it actually works. It's just a matter of knowing how and being strategic about it. So for me, one of my beliefs is that networking is bragging about yourself, or networking is, something you do that may not be very well seen, at least from my culture. So I had a lot of beliefs that were shaping a very negative concept on networking. And here I learned it is so different, and I'm so happy I broke that paradigm, because at the end, networking is so essential, as you mentioned, and I really had no idea about it.
Yeah, and it's something that really exists across countries. I mean, I meet a lot of people who go, well, Dahlia, maybe that works for you. You're North American. Maybe that's a North American thing, or maybe that's a this thing or that thing. I mean, things differ, of course, across cultures, but there are definitely certain concepts that are across the board. And I think everyone needs to look at, we all have excuses, right, about all kinds of things. And a big excuse that's easy to come up with is, oh, in my country that doesn't work, or, oh, I was born into a family where it's like this or like that, or I don't have much money, or I don't have much confidence, or I was told I'm a woman, so I can't do that, whatever it might be, right? We all have these kinds of excuses and stories in our minds. So you always need to examine those and go, okay, is the story really helping me get to where I want to go, or actually might it be holding me back?
Exactly. And through this journey, I learned about so many things that were not serving me, that were taught like, no, this is how things are done. This is how you apply to jobs. This is how, you relate with other people in a workspace. And they were not serving me at all. And plus, the job market is evolving so fast, globalizing. Look, now today we are working from home. Like before, it was a different world. So we really have to be a step forward in this job market dynamics. And if we want to stand out as professionals and be like this spearhead professional, you have to learn the skills that you teach here. So whoever is kind of thinking about it, if you want to be noticed and highlighted among all these professionals trying to network, here I can tell you, I learned how to, stand up from a crowd, how to, connect with people. And it is amazing, because before I tried to network, I didn't get any answers. Now I network following your tips, Dahlia, and then I get replies. I've been invited to participate in projects with people that are top level on my industry, and it's amazing. I never thought I would be able to, have these people talking back to me, because sometimes we belittle ourselves thinking, oh, how can I reach out for this very huge, profile person? And they do reach back to you if you know how to approach. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. I think it was a big thing. Like, you totally changed the approach you were taking in the networking, as well as obviously the mindset behind it. And then I think the other thing that made a really big difference was almost the before and after, when we went through what is your value and what's your experience, right? Because when you started the program, you were someone who didn't have much experience at all in the field that you wanted to go into. And I know that's a big problem, even for people with lots of years experience, that, oh, I don't have experience for the sector I want, or I might have a lot of experience, but it's not directly related to the job that I want, or it's not exactly right, or I don't have the right degree, or all these kinds of things. And then when we went into your CV and we looked at your value, by the time we got through that, you like, actually we did find experience and we did find your value, and actually you started looking really, really good. And then I think that's also what fueled the confidence. So it's not this fake kind of confidence, or, oh, just have mindset, just go like pump yourself up and be motivated and just go reach out to those big people. I think that confidence was also built through realizing, through us going through that and uncovering your value, and really, it wasn't like you had to fake anything. You went, oh yeah, I am valuable.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It was like digging back to my experiences and then saying, okay, but there's, there are treasures here that should be showcased in a more strategic way. And I'm the same person, it's the same experience, it's just how I tell my story, let's say, that make me realize, like, yes, this is it. It's just a matter of how I'm telling my professional story and how am I positioning myself regarding that story. So my mindset maybe was more focused on, yeah, but I'm still a student, or, I'm recently graduated, or I just did an internship. And there was a lot more back there that was not being showcased. So now that we have been able to, let's say, make a different narrative, but still stick to reality, for me, this gave me a lot of confidence. Absolutely. And people are telling me on LinkedIn, hey, your profile is amazing and very interesting. And it's like, yeah, and I still have the same experience. Nothing changed. It's just a matter of how I was telling my story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I know that's not always easy to do. Like, I know it's not always easy to do when you're the one trying to tell your own story, right? And because a lot of people have good profiles, but actually they're not saying something that is actually interesting to the employer or to the person on the other side that's looking at it. So sometimes the things people think are interesting about them, actually it's something else that would be more interesting.
Exactly.
Okay, so I would like to know, imagine yourself back where you were before, where you're going, okay, I'm really stuck. I don't know if this is gonna, I see that there's this career thing that's supposed to help me get a better job and this and that, but what if it doesn't work? And I know you were not earning the best of salaries either. And you're like, is this really worth it? Is it not? What would you say to someone who is struggling with similar issues, who's kind of on the fence?
Well, I think one of the things that really convinced me was knowing you, Dalia, before. So
and you've been following
everyone
for a
out
while,
there listening, I met Dalia. Yes, I met Dalia several years ago. I didn't know she was doing this type of program, but when I met her, I think, Dalia, I think you're younger than me. So when I met you, I was an intern and you were a consultant with UN. And I was so impressed, like, oh my God, look at this girl. Like, she's amazing. She is younger than me and she has made it so far already. Like, working in these top level agencies, and she has lived, like, I don't know, in 8 countries already. Like, how did she do it? So for me, knowing you beforehand was a living testimonial that whatever things you were doing to be successful were clearly working, because you were positioned in a place that I aim to be at. So that gave me that confidence, because for me it was not like, okay, I will be coached by someone I don't know how, that I don't know if this person is applying the principles. Maybe she or he is, but I cannot tell. But with you, I could tell even before knowing about this program. So when I heard about this program, I was like, okay, this is my chance to really learn how things are done, because she clearly knows what she's doing, because she's getting the results I'm looking for. And secondly, as I mentioned earlier, no one has taught me how to network, how to brand myself, how to land job interviews in an international level, which is so competitive. I was taught to, be humble, be low profile, and all of these things that were not serving me. So booking the session with you in the roadmap and, brainstorming about the challenges I was facing and what I have done that may have not worked, and where I am heading to, you know, brainstorming and doing all of this was an exercise I never had anyone doing with me. And this was just, you know, the first session we had together before starting this program. And even there, I could tell that there was already a difference because we were landing into specific issues and detecting already where the problems were. So even there, you know, this is the moment I'm like, okay, whatever it takes, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna go ahead and make this program. Between the presentation that you do in the first class and then the session and the fact that I knew you from before, for me it was clear that this is the light at the end of the tunnel where I can have hope to really access all these positions that Dalia has been accessing for years. Like, you know, she knows what she's doing. So I felt absolutely privileged to be taken in your program because I know you also take a sample of people. And I felt pretty privileged to be one of those people. And for me, it has been absolutely life-changing. So if you're there in the fence, just jump. Take this leap of faith. Do it for yourself, and you will learn a lot, and it will change your life. It has changed mine in so little. And I know if I, you know, keep the momentum, doing everything I have learned, in some months, a year, oh my God, my life is gonna be so different. So different.
This
It
is
is
just
now,
the beginning.
and I know it will continue building. Yeah, exactly. I am very enthusiastic about my future now. And, you know, just being enthusiastic about your future for me is already priceless. So yeah, if you're in the fence, just jump.
You're amazing. And this is why I do this, because there are people like you who are, you know, motivated and great at their work. And I mean, I think that this comes across even in this video right now. I don't know, but like Marisol is a very organized person and very professional and very responsible. And all of these things that if you were an employer, you would definitely want to have her on your team. So, you know, these are the people who need to have those kinds of skills to be able to be out there and to be well known and, you know, and to have this amazing reputation. Like, these are the people who should be ruling the world. These are the people who should be, you know, at the top, having the mission known, working. I know it sounds a bit silly, but, you know, imagine if this is the kind of person who is really getting those top level positions kind of thing. So that's why it's so important to get these skills and get that focus as well on where you're going and know what your future is, as opposed to getting stuck with what you can get. Like how sad would it be if Marisol was just getting stuck and just kind of, you know, making do? It's, you know, I can't even think about that. It's terrible. So yeah, I'm so happy for you, and I'm really excited to see what is next. And you know, you're definitely starting to create that snowball effect where you plant the seeds and you keep working at it, and from there the tree starts to grow and grow and grow, and before you know it, it's like something that you didn't even imagine starts to happen.
Yeah, and I actually love what you're saying, because we tend to think that we need to have certain credentials, certain degrees, certain diplomas to be able to access certain positions. But as you said, it has a lot to do with you as a person, because this is also a mindset of limitation we put ourselves. Like, yeah, but I don't have all this experience or all of these titles, degrees, etc. When what the people are looking out there in the network is people that have the can-do attitude, that people that, you know, are hardworking, have this, you know, people skills, certain soft skills, not necessarily only the technical skills. And when I have recruited people, I don't even care that much about the technical, because you can build upon that. But
yeah,
the
anyone
attitude,
can learn the technical.
like the person you are, this, right? And this is something that I think was making a difference on my confidence as a professional. How am I showcasing myself? That I'm not only, you know, technically skilled and I have a degree, but I have also so much as a person that, you know, it helps. But the credentials are not, you know, are not everything. And this is something that if you're out there discouraged that you want to be whatever profession or go to a certain sector and you don't have necessarily that degree, you shouldn't fix your mind on it. You shouldn't fix your mind on it.
Yeah, yeah. Wise words. I think it goes back to that, you know, focusing on all the limitations and all the things. Oh, I need another degree, or maybe I need this, and maybe I need that. And often it's just a case of, yeah, you just need better branding, and you just are not on mission. You're doing a job that's not your true passion. And so that's impacting your energy, and that's impacting how you come across and all that kind of thing. So I think we've covered most of the bases that I really wanted to be able to share. Is there any, do you have any final message that you want to share before we jump off?
I think I would just like to share that for me, this has been an honor to learn from you. And I landed my first 2 interviews in the first 2 weeks of the program. So for me, the results were incredibly fast. I spent 3 years trying to land 1 interview and I didn't get any in 3 years. And I started this program in 1 week, applied for jobs using your tips, your templates, and I landed 2 interviews in 2 weeks. It's insane. It's insane how the branding, how the networking, how you showcase your experience really makes a difference. And I had no idea the impact this was having before I get to know these tools that you're sharing with your students. So now I feel hopeful about my future. I feel in control. I have a lot of expectations. So for me, I'm very thankful, Dalia, for everything that I have learned. And I encourage you guys out there, if you are hesitant, book a session with Dalia. Go ahead and explore more and go for it. As I mentioned, no one will do it for you. This is a life investment. It's on you. And everyone out there that is successful, or mostly everyone, they have a coach. If you want to get, you know, on those levels and be successful, get a coach, get this program, go for Dalia. She's amazing. I love you, Dalia.
Oh, you're amazing. No, thank you so much for sharing your story. I hope that everyone really enjoyed hearing from Marisol. You can see she's very inspirational, and she has energy, and she's on mission. And all the results you got, you know, the interviews you got, those high-level contacts, it's so well deserved. Like, I can't think of a better person to be getting those kinds of wins and those kinds of really exciting opportunities. So I'm so happy for you, and I'm so excited to see what the next ones are going to be and where you're going to go from here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
With us.
Thank you.
All right. So we'll be in touch soon.
Of course.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch.
Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.